The morning sun cast golden rays across the gleaming glass towers of Manhattan as Emma Hart stood outside the imposing headquarters of the Sterling Corporation, her heart pounding with a mixture of determination and nerves that made her hands tremble slightly as she clutched her portfolio containing 6 years of secret design work that would either launch her triumphant return or mark her final defeat in a battle that had started long before she'd been forced to flee this city, pregnant and alone and terrified. The news was playing on every screen, visible through the building's windows, reporters eagerly covering the story that had the entire fashion and business world buzzing with excitement. Today, Ryan Sterling will officially take over as CEO of the Sterling Corporation and announce his engagement to Jessica Morgan, president of the Morgan Group, forming one of the most powerful business alliances in the country. Emma's phone buzzed with a message from her contact inside Sterling Corporation, the offer she'd been waiting for finally arriving in writing. "We want you to serve as chief designer with full authorization to use your past design copyrights, annual salary $10 million. Please confirm your acceptance." Emma smiled grimly because Jessica Morgan, her half-sister who'd stolen everything from her 6 years ago, including her reputation and her company, and nearly her life, had no idea that the designer they were so desperately courting was the same Emma Hart she'd driven out of the city, the same woman she'd drugged and ruined and left for dead, the same person who was about to make her pay back everything she'd taken and more.
Mommy, I need to go to the bathroom.
A small voice piped up from beside Emma, and she looked down at her 5 children who'd accompanied her to this first step of her revenge. 5 beautiful, brilliant children who were her reason for surviving and fighting and refusing to give up no matter how impossible things had seemed. "Me too," another child chimed in, their voices creating a chorus of need that made Emma laugh despite the tension coiling in her stomach.
"Let's find a bathroom quickly. But sweethearts, remember what we talked about. We need to be very careful today. Some people here aren't nice, and we don't want them to know who we really are."
The children nodded solemnly with the seriousness of kids who'd learned young that the world could be dangerous and that their mother's enemies were powerful, and that staying safe meant staying hidden, at least until the right moment to reveal themselves. Emma had been raising her 5 children alone for 6 years, working every job she could find to pay for food and rent and medical bills, designing in secret under a fake name to build her reputation back up from nothing, planning and plotting and preparing for this exact moment when she would return to reclaim everything that rightfully belonged to her and to the mother who'd been murdered by Jessica's scheming. They found the bathroom, and Emma waited outside with 3 of her children while 2 went inside, her mind already racing ahead to the meeting she had scheduled, rehearsing what she'd say and how she'd reveal her identity at exactly the right moment for maximum impact. "Mommy, I don't need to go," her youngest announced proudly, standing up straight like he was presenting important information.
"Then wait here with Mummy and be very good. We'll wait for your brothers and sisters together."
She was so focused on her children that she didn't notice the sleek black car pulling up to the building entrance or the elderly man being helped out by his staff, didn't see the way his sharp eyes immediately found her small group and focused with sudden intense interest. One of her children suddenly shrieked with pure joy, breaking away from Emma's side and running full speed toward a tall, handsome man who'd just emerged from the building, and Emma's heart stopped because this couldn't be happening. Not now, not like this. Not when she'd been so careful to keep her children hidden and safe. The man froze as the child launched himself at his legs, clearly shocked by this unexpected greeting from a stranger, and Emma rushed forward to retrieve her wayward son before this situation could get any more complicated. "I'm so sorry," Emma gasped, pulling her child back. "He must have mistaken you for someone else. Kids do that sometimes. Please forgive the intrusion." But the elderly man who'd been watching this whole scene was staring at the child with an expression of wonder and recognition, his weathered face showing emotions Emma couldn't quite.
"Red, wait, don't go yet. This child, he looks exactly like Ryan when he was small. The resemblance is uncanny."
The man Emma now realized must be Ryan Sterling's grandfather moved closer with surprising speed for his age, his eyes examining the child's features with the intensity of someone solving a puzzle.
Ryan, did you secretly give me a great-grandson and hid it from me all these years?
Ryan Sterling looked thoroughly confused, his handsome face showing bewilderment.
Grandfather, I don't know this woman or this child. I've never seen them before in my life.
The grandfather waved away his protests with obvious disbelief, clearly convinced by what his eyes were showing him. In this old man's eyes, resemblance like this doesn't lie. Whose little one is this? The child who'd started this whole mess looked up at the grandfather with complete confidence. I'm Asher, and this is my daddy, I can tell. Emma felt panic rising in her throat because this was spiraling completely out of control. I'm very sorry for the confusion. We really need to go now. Come on, sweethearts, let's leave these nice people alone. But more of her children had emerged from the bathroom and were now staring at Ryan Sterling with varying expressions of curiosity and excitement. And the grandfather was looking at all of them with growing astonishment. How many children does this woman have, Ryan? You really have been busy these past years, haven't you? Emma wanted the ground to swallow her whole. These children aren't his. This is all just a misunderstanding. We really need to go now. One of her children, her daughter Lily, who was far too smart for her own good, stepped forward and examined Ryan Sterling with the analytical eye of a tiny scientist. According to genetics, if someone has the same birthmark as us in the same location, there's a high probability they share our DNA. This person might actually be our biological father. The grandfather actually laughed with delight at this pronouncement, clearly charmed by the precocious child. What a brilliant observation. Where are your parents, little one? Lily pointed at Emma with perfect accuracy. Mommy is right there. She's the best mommy in the whole world. The grandfather's eyes found Emma again, and this time his expression shifted to something like recognition. This woman looks familiar. Haven't we met somewhere before? Before Emma could deny it, a sharp voice cut through the gathering crowd. Isn't this Emma Hart, the former fiancée of the Sterling heir? What is she doing here with all these children? Jessica Morgan had appeared like a beautiful venomous snake, her designer clothes and perfect makeup making her look every inch the successful businesswoman she pretended to be, her voice dripping with false concern and real malice. Emma, I heard you disappeared abroad after that scandal 6 years ago. Where is the father of all these children? Emma felt her children pressing closer to her legs for protection, their instincts correctly identifying Jessica as a threat. That's none of your business, Jessica. We were just leaving. Jessica's laugh was cruel and mocking. Leaving so soon, but you just arrived. Are you here to beg for your old job back? I'm sure the Sterling Corporation could find something suitable for someone with your limited skills and questionable reputation. Ryan Sterling was watching this exchange with growing confusion, clearly trying to piece together what was happening. You two know each other? Jessica smiled sweetly while her eyes remained cold. Oh yes, Emma and I have history. She used to work for my family's company before she ran off and abandoned everything. I never expected to see her back here with a whole collection of children from who knows how many different fathers. Emma felt rage burning in her chest, but kept her voice calm for her children's sake. I see your talent for lying hasn't diminished over the years, Jessica, still making up stories to make yourself look better. The grandfather was still watching the children with fascination. Regardless of their parentage, these are remarkable children, so well-behaved and intelligent. Where are you staying in the city? Emma saw the trap forming and tried to deflect. We have accommodations arranged. Thank you for your concern, but we really must be going now. Say goodbye, children. But her children, bless their independent souls, had other ideas. We don't have a home yet, one of them announced with perfect honesty. Mommy said we'd find a place after her meeting today. Jessica's expression turned triumphant. How sad, reduced to homelessness. Such is the fate of those who make poor choices in life. Ryan Sterling surprised everyone by speaking directly to Emma for the first time. If you need assistance, the Sterling Corporation has resources available for employees and their families. Emma met his eyes and felt something electric pass between them, some recognition that went deeper than memory. I don't need charity, Mr. Sterling. I have a job offer, and I'm perfectly capable of taking care of my family. The grandfather's phone rang, and he answered it with visible irritation at the interruption. listening for a moment before his expression changed to one of shock and then delight. "You're telling me this woman is the famous designer M that we've been trying to recruit? The same M whose work has been setting the fashion world on fire for the past 3 years?" Emma felt her carefully constructed plans shifting. This wasn't how she'd intended to reveal her identity. "I prefer to keep my real name private for professional reasons." Jessica's face went pale because she'd been the one pushing hardest to hire the mysterious designer M, had staked her reputation on landing this collaboration, had no idea she'd been courting her own worst enemy. "That's impossible. M is supposed to be a reclusive European designer, not some disgraced nobody who ran away from scandal." The grandfather ignored Jessica completely, his entire focus on Emma now. "My dear, if you're M, then the Sterling Corporation would be honored to have you. Please accept our offer. We'll provide everything you need, including housing for you and your children." Emma saw her opportunity and took it. "I'll accept on one condition. I want complete creative control, and I want my past design copyrights that were stolen from me restored to my name." Jessica made a strangled sound of protest. "Those copyrights belong to the Morgan Group. They were legally transferred." Emma's smile was sharp as broken glass. "Were they, Jessica? Or did you forge documents and steal them after you drugged me and tried to destroy my life? Shall we discuss that in more detail in front of all these witnesses?" The crowd that had gathered to watch this drama unfold murmured with excitement. Phones out, recording everything. And Jessica realized too late that she'd walked into a trap of Emma's making. Ryan Sterling was looking at Emma with new interest. "These are serious allegations. If you have proof of theft and fraud, the Sterling Corporation takes such matters very seriously." Emma pulled out her phone and showed a series of documents. "I have originals of everything. Proof of my ownership, proof of the forgery, proof of everything she took from me. I've spent 6 years gathering evidence, and now I'm ready to take it all back." The grandfather clapped his hands with delight. "Excellent. This is exactly the kind of fire we need at Sterling Corporation. Emma Hart, welcome to the team. We'll arrange housing for you immediately and begin the process of investigating these copyright claims." Jessica looked like she might actually explode with rage. "You can't just believe her lies. She's probably making all of this up. She's desperate and she'll say anything." Emma's children, who'd been quiet during this adult conversation, suddenly came to life. "Don't you dare call our mommy a liar," Lily announced with fierce protective energy. "Mommy is the best designer in the whole world, and she never lies, unlike some people who steal other people's work and pretend it's theirs." Ryan Sterling actually smiled at the child's defense of her mother. "You're quite fierce, aren't you? What's your name?" Lily crossed her arms in a perfect imitation of Emma's stubborn pose. "I'm Lily Hart, and these are my brothers Asher, Noah, Lucas, and Oliver. And we're not afraid of bullies, even if they wear expensive clothes and work for big companies." The grandfather laughed so hard he had to wipe tears from his eyes. "What spirit, what courage. These children are absolute treasures, Ryan. Make sure Emma's housing is sorted out immediately. I want her and her family comfortable and settled." Emma felt the situation slipping further from her control. "That's very generous, but we can manage on our own." The grandfather wouldn't hear of it. "Nonsense. You're Sterling Corporation's newest star designer. We take care of our own. Besides, those children need stability and security. Let us help." Ryan Sterling pulled out a sleek business card. "My assistant will contact you within the hour to arrange everything. If there's anything you need, anything at all, just call this number." Emma took the card carefully, very aware of how close Ryan was standing, how good he smelled, how his eyes seemed to see right through her carefully constructed walls. "Thank you. I appreciate the help." Jessica was practically vibrating with suppressed fury. "This is absolutely ridiculous. You're all being taken in by a con artist. Wait until I prove she's lying about everything." Emma turned to face her half-sister directly, meeting her eyes without flinching. "Go ahead and try, Jessica. I've waited 6 years for this confrontation. I'm more than ready for whatever you want to throw at me. What you took from me before, I'm going to take back tenfold. That's a promise." The crowd was eating up every moment of this real-life drama, phones recording and people whispering, and Emma knew that by tomorrow this confrontation would be all over social media, exactly as she'd planned. "Mommy, can we go now?" Oliver asked quietly, tugging on her sleeve. "I'm getting tired and hungry." Emma's maternal instincts immediately overrode everything else. "Of course, baby. Let's get you all fed and settled. Thank you, Mr. Sterling. Thank your grandfather. We'll be in touch about the housing arrangements." They turned to leave, but the grandfather called out one more time. "Emma, I know we just met, but I have a feeling you're going to be very important to this family. Take care of those precious children and let us help however we can." Emma felt unexpected emotion clogging her throat because kindness from strangers was somehow harder to handle than cruelty from enemies. "Thank you, sir. That means more than you know." As they walked away, Emma heard Jessica hissing to Ryan Sterling, "You're making a huge mistake trusting her. She's just going to cause problems and embarrass the company." Ryan's response was quiet but firm. "The only person who seems to be causing problems is you, Jessica. I think we need to have a serious conversation about your behavior and your connection to Emma Hart's past." Emma smiled to herself because her revenge was already beginning to work, planting seeds of doubt, exposing cracks in Jessica's perfect facade, setting the stage for everything that would follow. Her children chatted excitedly as they walked, processing everything that had just happened. "Mommy, was that man really our daddy?" Asher asked with genuine curiosity. "He felt right somehow, like I knew him." Emma knelt down to her son's level, her heart aching because she'd kept so many secrets from her children. "Baby, it's complicated. I'll explain everything when you're older. For now, just know that Mommy loves you more than anything, and I'll always keep you safe." Noah, her most analytical child, frowned thoughtfully. "But Mommy, if he is our biological father, doesn't he have a right to know us? And don't we have a right to know him?" Emma felt trapped by her own children's logic and honesty. Sometimes adult situations are messy, sweethearts. Sometimes people don't even know they have children because circumstances kept them apart. "I promise I'll figure this all out and do what's best for everyone." Lucas, her most emotional child, threw his arms around Emma's neck. "We don't need a daddy if having one makes you sad, Mommy. We just need you. You're enough for us." Emma held him close, tears pricking her eyes. "You're all so amazing. How did I get so lucky to have such incredible children? I promise things are going to get better from here. Mommy's going to fix everything and give you the life you deserve." They made their way to a small cafe where Emma bought her children lunch with the last of her carefully hoarded money. Watching them eat and laugh and be children despite everything they'd been through, and she renewed her vow that she would destroy everyone who'd tried to destroy her. She would take back her mother's company. She would expose Jessica's crimes, and somehow she would figure out what to do about Ryan Sterling and the impossible situation of him being the father of her children without even knowing they existed. That night, in the modest hotel room that Emma could barely afford, she tucked her 5 children into the 2 beds, squeezing in between them like pieces of a puzzle. And they talked about the day and made plans for tomorrow and dreamed about the future that Emma was determined to build for them. "Mommy, if that man is our daddy, does that mean we're rich?" Oliver asked with the mercenary practicality of a 5-year-old. "Because I would really like new shoes. These ones have holes." Emma's heart broke a little more. "Baby, money isn't everything. But yes, if things work out the way Mommy plans, we'll have everything we need and more. You'll all have new shoes and new clothes and your own rooms and everything I've wanted to give you but couldn't afford." Lily snuggled closer. "I don't need a big room, Mommy. I just want to stay close to you. You're my favorite person in the whole world." Emma kissed the top of her daughter's head, breathing in the scent of discount shampoo and childhood innocence. "You're all my favorite people too now. Sleep tight, my darlings. Tomorrow we start our new life and nothing will ever hurt us again, Mommy promises." As her children drifted off to sleep, Emma lay awake planning and plotting, thinking about Ryan Sterling's confused expression when Asher had called him Daddy, remembering the electric shock she'd felt when their eyes met, wondering if he would eventually remember that night 6 years ago when someone had drugged them both at a business party and they'd ended up in a hotel room together, neither of them in control, neither of them aware of what was happening, both of them victims of Jessica's scheming to destroy Emma and trap Ryan in a compromising position that never quite worked out the way Jessica had planned. Emma had woken up alone in that hotel room with no clear memory of what had happened. Only vague impressions of gentleness and warmth and someone holding her while she cried. And 9 months later, she'd given birth to 5 beautiful babies who all shared distinctive features that marked them as Ryan Sterling's children, even though Emma had no way to prove it and no desire to drag him into her mess when Jessica was still hunting for her and threatening to finish what she'd started. But now Emma was back and she was strong, and she had evidence and a plan and 5 incredible children who deserved to know their father, and somehow she would have to figure out how to reveal the truth without destroying everything she'd worked so hard to build. The next morning, Emma's phone rang at exactly 8 o'clock with a call from Ryan Sterling's assistant. "Miss Hart, Mr. Sterling has arranged a penthouse apartment for you and your children in the Sterling Tower. It has 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a full kitchen, and building security. We can move you in today if that's acceptable." Emma felt suspicion warring with relief. "That's very generous. What's the rent?" The assistant's voice was professionally neutral. "There is no rent, Miss Hart. This is part of your employment package with Sterling Corporation. Consider it one of the perks of being our chief designer." Emma wanted to refuse on principle, but she looked at her 5 children sleeping in 2 beds, meant for adults, and knew she couldn't let pride prevent her from accepting help they desperately needed. "Thank you. That's very generous. We'll take it. When can we see the apartment?" Within hours, Emma and her children were being escorted into the most beautiful home Emma had ever seen. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, hardwood floors gleaming in the sunlight, bedrooms large enough for each child to have their own space, with room left over for Emma to finally have privacy. "Mommy, is this really ours?" Noah breathed, spinning in circles in the living room. "It's like a palace. I never want to leave." Emma felt tears threatening again because her children deserved this, deserved beauty and comfort and safety. "Yes, baby, this is really ours. You can each pick your own room, and Mommy will help you decorate however you want." The children scattered like happy butterflies, exploring every corner, claiming bedrooms, already making plans for how to arrange their few possessions in this sudden abundance of space. Emma stood at the window, looking out over the city she'd fled 6 years ago, the city that had rejected her and cast her out, the city she was now conquering through talent and determination and careful planning. And she felt power flowing through her veins because this was just the beginning. She was home and she was ready to fight, and nothing would stop her from taking back everything that belonged to her and her children. Her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Welcome back to New York, Emma. I hope you're ready for war. Because I'm coming for you and those bastard children. You should have stayed hidden, Jessica." Emma smiled grimly and texted back, "Bring it on, little sister. I've been preparing for this fight for 6 years. Let's see who's left standing when the dust settles." The game was on, the players were in position, and Emma Hart was finally ready to show the world exactly what happened when you pushed someone too far, when you stole everything they loved, when you made the mistake of leaving them alive to plot their revenge. Jessica Morgan had no idea what was coming, but she was about to learn that Emma Hart wasn't the scared, broken girl who'd fled 6 years ago. She was a mother protecting her children, a designer reclaiming her legacy, and a woman determined to burn down anyone who stood in her way. And nothing, absolutely nothing, was going to stop her from achieving every single goal she'd set for herself and her family. The Sterling Corporation headquarters buzzed with the news that the mysterious designer M was actually Emma Hart, the woman who disappeared 6 years ago under scandalous circumstances. And by the time Emma arrived for her first official day of work, the gossip had reached fever pitch, with employees whispering behind their hands and staring openly as she walked through the lobby with her head held high and her portfolio clutched like a shield against the judgment she could feel pressing in from all sides. Emma's new assistant, a cheerful woman named Sophie, who seemed immune to office politics, greeted her with genuine warmth and a stack of paperwork that needed signing. "Welcome to Sterling Corporation, Miss Hart. We're all so excited to have you here. Your work is absolutely legendary in design circles. I can't believe I get to work with you directly." Emma felt some of her tension easing. "Thank you, Sophie. I appreciate the warm welcome. I know my arrival has caused quite a stir, and I'm sure people have questions." Sophie lowered her voice conspiratorially. "Let them gossip. Anyone who's actually looked at your designs knows you're the real deal. Talent speaks louder than rumors. Now let me show you to your office, and then we have a meeting with the design team in an hour." The office was beautiful, spacious, and filled with natural light, exactly the kind of creative space Emma had dreamed about during those long years of working in cramped apartments while her children slept. And she felt emotion welling up because this was really happening. She was really back. She was really going to succeed. Her phone buzzed with messages from her children's new school, the prestigious academy that Sterling Corporation had arranged for them to attend. And Emma smiled, reading the teacher's report that all 5 children were settling in beautifully and already impressing everyone with their intelligence and good behavior. "Mommy, school is amazing," Lily's voice came through when Emma called during lunch. "We have our own desks and books, and the teacher is really nice. She doesn't yell at all." Emma's heart squeezed because her children had attended so many different schools over the years, always the new kids, always struggling to fit in, always aware they were different from the other children whose families had money and stability. "I'm so glad, baby. Are your brothers behaving themselves?" Lily giggled. Asha asked the teacher if she was sure our daddy wasn't the CEO of Sterling Corporation because he looks exactly like the pictures in the hallway, and the teacher got all flustered and said that was impossible because Mr. Sterling doesn't have children. But Asha just smiled and said, "We'll see about that." Emma groaned because her children were not subtle. "Lily, please tell your brothers not to go around claiming Ryan Sterling is your father. It's complicated and we don't want to cause problems." Lily's voice turned serious. "But Mommy, Noah did research and found out that Mr. Sterling had a big scandal 6 years ago at the exact same party where you said our conception happened, and the timing matches perfectly. And we all have his birthmark behind our left ears. And we look exactly like him. So how is it complicated?" Emma was constantly amazed by how smart her children were and also occasionally wished they were slightly less observant. "We'll talk about this at home tonight, sweethearts. For now, just focus on school and making friends and being good. Mommy has to work now, but I love you all so much." The design team meeting was Emma's first real test, facing the people who'd been hired by Jessica Morgan and who might still be loyal to her, and Emma walked into the conference room ready for hostility and resistance to her authority. "Everyone, this is Emma Hart, also known as Designer M. She'll be taking over as Chief Designer effective immediately," Sophie announced, and the room erupted in whispers and shocked expressions. An older designer named Marcus stood up with a sneer. "I've been with this company for 15 years. Why should we take orders from someone who just appeared out of nowhere with a bunch of illegitimate children and questionable credentials?" Emma met his gaze without flinching. "My credentials are my designs, which have won international awards and generated millions in revenue. My personal life is irrelevant to my professional abilities, and if you have a problem with that, Marcus, feel free to submit your resignation, and I'll accept it immediately." The room went silent because nobody had expected her to come out swinging so hard. "As for my children, they're brilliant and beautiful, and I'm proud to be their mother. Anyone who wants to use them to attack me professionally will find themselves unemployed very quickly. Are we clear?" Marcus sat down, looking thoroughly cowed, and Emma continued, "Now, I've reviewed the current design portfolio, and frankly, it's mediocre at best. We're going to start fresh with new concepts that actually push boundaries and set trends. Instead of following them, I expect complete dedication and creative excellence from everyone on this team. Those who can't deliver should leave now." Nobody moved, and Emma smiled because she'd established her authority and made it clear she wouldn't tolerate disrespect. "Good. Then let's get to work. I want preliminary sketches from everyone by end of day tomorrow. Themes should be bold, innovative, and completely different from anything currently on the market." The meeting continued for another hour with Emma outlining her vision and expectations, and by the time they broke for lunch, several designers had approached her privately to express their excitement about working under her direction. "That was impressive," a voice said from the doorway, and Emma turned to find Ryan Sterling leaning against the frame, watching her with an expression she couldn't quite read. "I've never seen Marcus back down so quickly. He usually fights every new directive." Emma felt her pulse quicken at Ryan's proximity. "I don't have time for ego battles. Either people want to create excellent work, or they don't. If they don't, they can leave and make room for people who actually care about design." Ryan moved into the room, his tall frame somehow making the spacious office feel smaller. "My grandfather is very impressed with you. He says you have fire and vision. Those are his exact words, coming from him. That's high praise." Emma kept her expression neutral even though her heart was racing. Your grandfather has been very kind to me and my children. I appreciate everything Sterling Corporation has done to help us settle in. Ryan's eyes found hers and held. About your children, I've been meaning to ask you something. Is there any possibility, any chance at all, that they might be mine? Emma's breath caught because she'd been expecting this question, but still wasn't prepared for how direct he was being. Why would you think that? Ryan pulled out his phone and showed her a photo. Because Asher apparently told his entire class that I'm his father, and when the school called to verify, I had my assistant investigate. And Emma, the timeline matches perfectly with that party 6 years ago, the one where we were both drugged. Emma felt her carefully constructed walls beginning to crack. I don't know what happened that night. I barely remember anything. I woke up alone in a hotel room with no memory and no way to find out who I'd been with. 9 months later, I had 5 babies, and I've been raising them on my own ever since. Ryan's expression softened with something that might have been regret, or might have been hope. I remember fragments, someone crying, someone I held and tried to comfort, someone who felt right in my arms despite the confusion and fear. Was that you, Emma? Were you the woman from that night? Emma wanted to lie, wanted to protect herself and her children from the complications of this truth, but she'd spent 6 years running from honesty and she was tired of hiding. I think so. I think we were both victims of whatever Jessica planned that night. But Ryan, I can't prove it, and I won't ask you for anything. I'm perfectly capable of raising my children alone. Ryan moved closer, close enough that Emma could smell his cologne and feel the heat radiating from his body. What if I don't want you to raise them alone? What if I want to be part of their lives? What if I want to be part of your life? Emma's resolve wavered because she'd been alone for so long, fighting so hard, and the idea of having a partner was both terrifying and desperately appealing. We barely know each other. We can't build a family on one night 6 years ago that neither of us remembers clearly. Ryan's hand came up to cup her cheek with surprising gentleness. Then let's get to know each other now. Let's start fresh and see where this goes, Emma. I feel connected to you and to those children in a way I can't explain. Please give us a chance. Before Emma could respond, her phone rang with a call from her children's school, the principal's voice urgent. Miss Hart, I'm afraid there's been an incident. Your children are fine, but we need you to come to the school immediately. It involves Miss Morgan. Emma felt ice flooding her veins because Jessica going after her was one thing, but involving her children crossed a line that would have severe consequences. I'll be right there. Don't let anyone near my kids until I arrive. Ryan was already moving toward the door. I'm coming. With you, if Jessica is involved, this concerns me too. She's supposed to be at the Sterling Corporation, but if she's harassing children, there will be consequences. They rushed to the school together, and Emma found her 5 children sitting in the principal's office, looking upset but unharmed. And standing across from them was Jessica Morgan, looking absolutely furious with torn clothes and scratches on her face. What happened here? Emma demanded, immediately going to her children and checking them over for injuries. The principal, a stern woman named Mrs. Chen, gestured to the security footage. Miss Morgan arrived claiming to be the children's aunt and demanding to take them home early. When the children refused and called security, she became aggressive and tried to physically grab young Lily, at which point all 5 children defended themselves quite effectively. Emma looked at the scratches on Jessica's face and the torn designer clothes and felt fierce pride in her children's ability to protect themselves. You tried to kidnap my children. Jessica's face was twisted with rage. They're probably not even yours. You probably stole them or bought them from some third-world orphanage to gain sympathy. Everyone knows you're a liar and a fraud. Lily stood up with all the dignity of a tiny queen. We belong to our mommy and she loves us and she would never steal children. You're the liar and everyone knows it. That's why you have to wear so much makeup to hide your ugly soul. The principal actually smiled before catching herself. Miss Morgan, you're banned from this school property. If you attempt to contact these children again, I'll have you arrested for attempted kidnapping and harassment. Security will escort you out now. Jessica looked to Ryan for support. You can't let them treat me like this. I'm your fiancé. Tell them they're making a mistake. Ryan's voice was cold as ice. You're not my fiancé. That engagement was arranged by our families, and I never agreed to it. And Jessica, if you ever go near Emma's children again, I'll have you prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Stay away from my family." Jessica's expression shifted from angry to desperate. "Your family, Ryan. They're not your family. She's just a nobody who's trying to trap you with children who probably aren't even yours. Don't let her fool you." Noah, Emma's analytical son, pulled out his tablet. "Actually, we did DNA research using hair samples. There's a 99.9% probability that Ryan Sterling is our biological father. We were going to tell Mommy tonight, but since everyone's here, we might as well share the results now." The room went absolutely silent as Noah showed the screen with its scientific data and charts and undeniable proof that Emma's children were Ryan's biological offspring, and Emma felt the last of her secrets crumbling away, because now everyone knew, now there was no hiding, now everything would change. Ryan stared at the results with an expression of wonder and joy and disbelief. "I have children. I have 5 children. Emma, why didn't you tell me?" Emma's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't know how to find you. I didn't have proof. I was scared that you wouldn't believe me or that Jessica would use it against us somehow. I was just trying to protect them, Ryan. That's all I've ever tried to do." Ryan crossed the room in 3 strides and pulled Emma into his arms, holding her close while she finally let herself cry for all the years of struggle and loneliness and fear. "You don't have to protect them alone anymore. I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere. We're a family, Emma. We're going to figure this out together." The children, seeing their mother being held and comforted, immediately joined the hug, wrapping their small arms around both adults and creating a cocoon of family warmth that felt like coming home after a long journey through darkness. Jessica made a sound of disgust and fury. "This is disgusting. You're all disgusting. Wait until the media hears about this scandal. Wait until everyone knows that Ryan Sterling has 5 illegitimate children with a disgraced designer. Your reputation will be destroyed." Ryan lifted his head, and his eyes were harder than Emma had ever seen them. "The only scandal here is your attempted kidnapping and your years of fraud and theft. Emma has evidence of everything you did to her, including forging documents and stealing her designs. And I'm going to make sure you pay for every single crime." Mrs. Chen cleared her throat diplomatically. "Perhaps this conversation should continue elsewhere. The children have been through enough stress for one day, Miss Hart. Your children are remarkable and they're welcome to remain at this school. In fact, we'd be honored to have them." Emma wiped her tears and managed a shaky smile. "Thank you. I appreciate your support and your quick response to protect them." As they left the school, Emma's children chatted excitedly about finally having a daddy, about living with Ryan, about being a real family, and Emma felt her heart expanding with hope and terror in equal measure because she'd been alone for so long she wasn't sure she knew how to let someone in. "We need to do this properly," Ryan said as they reached his car. "DNA test, through official channels, legal recognition of paternity, custody arrangements. I want everything documented and legal so nobody can ever question their legitimacy or my commitment to them." Emma nodded because that made sense, even though the practical discussion felt jarring after the emotional intensity of the past hour. "I agree, we should do everything by the book, protect them legally." Ryan's hand found hers and squeezed gently. "And Emma, I know this is moving fast and we have a lot to figure out. But I meant what I said in there. I want us to be a family, not just for the children, but because I feel something between us. Something that goes beyond that one night 6 years ago." Emma looked up at him and saw sincerity in his eyes. "I feel it too. But Ryan, I come with a lot of baggage. 5 children, a revenge mission against my half-sister, a company I'm trying to reclaim. Are you sure you want to sign up for all of that?" Ryan's smile was warm and genuine. "Emma, you're brilliant and beautiful and fierce. You've raised 5 incredible children alone while building a design career from nothing. You're the most impressive person I've ever met. Of course I want to sign up for that. I'd be lucky to have you in my life." They went to Ryan's penthouse, which was even more luxurious than the apartment Sterling Corporation had provided, and the children explored with wide eyes and excited voices, while Emma and Ryan sat down to have the serious conversation they'd been avoiding. 6 years ago, someone drugged us both," Ryan began, his voice steady but his eyes showing old pain. "I've spent years trying to figure out who and why. I suspect it was Jessica trying to compromise me so she could trap me into marriage, but I never had proof. Emma pulled out her phone and showed him files she'd been collecting. I have proof. I have emails between Jessica and the man she paid to drug us. I have records of payments. I have everything. I was planning to use it to destroy her reputation, but if you want to press criminal charges, I'll support that. Ryan studied the evidence with growing anger. She needs to face consequences. But Emma, if we do this publicly, it's going to be messy. The media will have a field day. Are you prepared for that level of scrutiny? Emma thought about her children and what they'd already endured. I've been hiding for 6 years. I'm done hiding. If exposing Jessica means dealing with media attention, then so be it. My children deserve to know their father, and I deserve to reclaim my life. We'll handle whatever comes. They spent the next several hours planning their strategy, how to go public with their relationship, how to handle the DNA results, how to manage the inevitable media storm, and through it all, Emma felt a growing sense of partnership with Ryan, a feeling that they were truly in this together. That night, Emma tucked her children into beds in Ryan's guest rooms, listening to their excited chatter about their new life. "Mommy, does this mean we're rich now?" Oliver asked with his characteristic focus on practical matters. "Because I really want those new shoes I mentioned." Emma laughed and kissed his forehead. "Yes, baby, we're going to be fine financially. You'll all have everything you need and more, but remember that money doesn't make you better than other people. Kindness and character matter more than wealth." Lily snuggled into her pillow with a contented sigh. "I like Daddy. He's nice and he makes you smile." "Mommy, I haven't seen you smile this much in forever. Can we keep him?" Emma felt tears pricking her eyes again. "Yes, sweetheart, we can keep him. He wants to be part of our family, but it's going to take time to figure everything out. We all need to be patient and understanding while we learn how to be a family together." Asher, who'd started this whole mess by calling Ryan Daddy at first sight, looked very pleased with himself. "I told you he was our daddy. I knew it from the start. Sometimes you just know things in your heart, Mummy. You taught us that." Emma remembered teaching them about intuition and trust. "You're absolutely right, baby. Sometimes your heart knows before your head catches up. Now sleep tight, my darlings. Tomorrow is going to be another big day." After the children were asleep, Emma found Ryan on the balcony, looking out over the city, and she joined him in the comfortable silence of two people who were still learning each other, but already felt connected. "Thank you," Emma said softly, "for believing me, for wanting to be part of this chaos, for not running away when you found out about the children." Ryan turned to face her, moonlight making his features look softer, younger. "Thank you for surviving, for raising our children, for being strong enough to come back and fight for what's yours. Emma, you're incredible, and I'm honored that you're giving me a chance to be part of your life." Emma felt something shifting in her chest, walls she'd built for protection starting to crumble. "I've been alone for so long, I'm not sure I remember how to let someone help me. You'll have to be patient with me." Ryan's hand came up to tuck a strand of hair behind her ear, the gesture intimate and tender. "We have all the time in the world. There's no rush. We'll figure this out together at whatever pace feels right. But Emma, I need you to know something. I'm not going to abandon you or the children. I'm in this for real. For the long term, you can count on me." Emma looked into his eyes and saw sincerity and determination. "I want to believe that. I want to trust you. But the last time I trusted someone, they destroyed my life and tried to kill me. Jessica has made me suspicious of everyone's motives." Ryan's expression turned fierce. "I'm not Jessica, and I promise you that I will spend however long it takes proving that you can trust me, proving that I'm worthy of you and our children. Emma Hart, you walked back into my life like a storm, and I'm grateful for it. You've given me everything I didn't know I was missing." Before Emma could respond, Ryan leaned in and kissed her, gentle and questioning, giving her every opportunity to pull away. But Emma found herself leaning into the kiss instead, her hands coming up to grip his shirt, her body responding to his touch in ways that felt both brand new and ancient, like coming home to a place she'd never been. When they finally broke apart, both were breathing hard, and Ryan rested his forehead against hers. "I've been wanting to do that since the moment I saw you outside Sterling Corporation. There's something between us, Emma, something real and powerful. I want to explore it if you'll let me." Emma nodded because denying the attraction would be pointless. "I want that too, but Ryan." We need to be careful. The children need stability, and I can't afford to have my heart broken. Right when I'm trying to rebuild my life. Can we take this slow?" Ryan smiled and pressed another quick kiss to her lips. "As slow as you need, I'm not going anywhere. We'll build this relationship on solid ground instead of the confusion of 6 years ago. We'll do it right this time." They stood together in the moonlight, making plans and promises, and Emma felt hope blooming in her chest for the first time in years. Hope that maybe she could have everything she'd been fighting for: her career, her revenge, her family, and possibly even love with a man who seemed to see past her defenses to the scared, lonely woman underneath who desperately wanted to believe in happily ever after. The next morning, Emma woke up in Ryan's guest room to her phone buzzing with dozens of notifications, and when she checked social media, her heart sank because someone had leaked the story about Ryan Sterling's 5 secret children, complete with photos and speculation and wild theories about Emma's identity and intentions. "We need damage control," Ryan said when Emma found him in the kitchen making breakfast for the children. "My PR team is already working on an official statement. We're going to get ahead of this and control the narrative instead of letting Jessica and the media define us." Emma appreciated his calm competence in crisis. "What do you want the statement to say?" Ryan set down the spatula and turned to face her fully. "The truth that we were both victims of drugging 6 years ago, that we recently discovered we have children together, that we're committed to co-parenting and building a family, that anyone who has a problem with that can mind their own business." Emma laughed despite her stress. "That last part might need some editing for professional purposes, but I appreciate the sentiment. Let's do it. Let's take control of this story before it controls us." The official statement went out within the hour, and the media response was immediate and intense. Reporters camped outside Ryan's building, paparazzi following them everywhere, opinion pieces being written about everything from Emma's parenting to Ryan's Playboy reputation to whether the children should be recognized as Sterling heirs. Through it all, Ryan remained steady and protective, his security team keeping the worst of the attention at bay, his lawyers filing lawsuits against the most egregious false reporting, his public relations team crafting responses that were firm but professional. Emma focused on her work, throwing herself into designs that were bold and innovative and absolutely brilliant. And within 2 weeks, Sterling Corporation had landed 3 major contracts based solely on Emma's preliminary sketches and visionary concepts. "You're making waves," Sophie told her one afternoon, bringing in yet another stack of collaboration requests. "Every major fashion house wants to work with you. You're the hottest designer in the industry right now, Miss Hart. You're a phenomenon." Emma felt satisfaction, but also exhaustion, because juggling her career and her children and her developing relationship with Ryan and her ongoing battle with Jessica was taking its toll. "I just want to create beautiful things and raise my kids. Is that too much to ask?" Sophie smiled sympathetically. "Unfortunately, when you're this talented and this connected to someone as powerful as Ryan Sterling, privacy becomes a luxury. But for what it's worth, you're handling it all with incredible grace. Everyone in the office admires you." That evening, Emma attended her first official event as Ryan's partner, a charity gala where the city's elite gathered to see and be seen, and Emma wore one of her own designs, a stunning dress that made her feel powerful and beautiful and ready to face whatever challenges the evening might bring. "You look breathtaking," Ryan murmured when he saw her, his eyes showing appreciation and something deeper. "Every man in that room is going to envy me tonight. Every woman is going to want to be you." Emma felt heat rising in her cheeks. "You're not so bad yourself, Mr. Sterling, quite dashing in that tuxedo. Our children are going to have very attractive parents." Ryan offered his arm with old-fashioned gallantry. "Shall we go show the world what a real power couple looks like? Shall we make Jessica regret every moment she spent trying to destroy you?" Emma took his arm with a smile that was equal parts anticipation and determination. "Let's do it. I'm ready to face whatever comes next. I'm ready to show everyone exactly who Emma Hart is and what she's capable of achieving." They walked into the gala together and immediately became the center of attention, whispers following them across the room, eyes tracking their every move, and Emma held her head high and smiled graciously and refused to show any weakness or doubt. Jessica was there, of course, looking beautiful and venomous in an expensive gown. surrounded by sycophants who laughed at her jokes and ignored her increasingly desperate attempts to regain social standing. "Emma, darling," Jessica called out loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear, "I see you've managed to trap Ryan Sterling with your little collection of children. How clever of you, using motherhood to manipulate a wealthy man. I wonder how long it will last before he realizes what you really are." Emma felt Ryan tense beside her, but she put a calming hand on his arm. "Jessica, I see you're still spreading lies and making yourself look desperate. Some things never change. But let me make something very clear to you and everyone listening. I didn't trap anyone. Ryan and I are together because we choose to be, because we're building a real relationship based on honesty and mutual respect. Something you clearly know nothing about." Jessica's smile turned ugly. "We'll see how long that lasts when the media digs into your past, when everyone learns about all the men you slept with to get ahead, when your children's legitimacy is questioned by everyone who matters." Emma had had enough of playing nice. "Speaking of legitimacy, shall we discuss how you forged my signature on copyright documents? Or how you paid someone to drug Ryan and me 6 years ago? Or how you've been committing fraud for years using designs you stole from me? I have proof of everything, Jessica, and I'm done letting you intimidate me." The crowd had gone silent, everyone straining to hear this confrontation, phones out recording every word, and Jessica's face went pale as she realized Emma wasn't bluffing. "You're lying," Jessica stammered, but her voice lacked conviction. "You can't prove any of that." Emma pulled out her phone calmly. "Actually, I can. I have emails, financial records, witness statements, everything a prosecutor would need to build an airtight case against you. The only reason I haven't gone to the police yet is because I wanted to destroy you professionally first, wanted you to lose. Everything the way you tried to make me lose everything. But Jessica, if you continue to harass me or my children or Ryan, I will bury you so deep you'll never see daylight again. That's not a threat, that's a promise." Ryan stepped forward, his voice carrying authority that commanded attention. "And just so we're all clear, Emma has my full support and the full resources of Sterling Corporation behind her. Anyone who sides with Jessica in this dispute will find themselves on the wrong side of a very powerful organization. Choose your allegiances carefully." The crowd's sympathy visibly shifted, people backing away from Jessica like she was toxic, whispers spreading about her crimes and her schemes, and Emma felt victorious satisfaction watching her half-sister's social standing crumble in real time. Jessica's eyes filled with desperate tears. "You've always been jealous of me, Emma, ever since we were children. You couldn't stand that I was prettier and more popular and more successful. Now you're trying to destroy me because I have everything you want." Emma laughed without humor. "Jessica, you stole my mother's company. You murdered my mother with slow-acting poison. You drugged me and tried to ruin my reputation. You've spent years lying and cheating and destroying people to get ahead. I'm not jealous of you. I pity you, because at the end of the day, you have nothing real. No genuine relationships, no actual talent, no authentic success. Everything you have is built on lies and theft, and lies always catch up with you eventually." The silence following Emma's words was deafening, and then Ryan's grandfather appeared, having apparently heard the entire confrontation. "Is this true, Jessica? Did you murder Emma's mother? Did you drug my grandson?" Jessica looked around desperately for support, but found none. Everyone had their phones out recording, everyone was watching her crumble. I didn't mean for anyone to get hurt. I just wanted what I deserved. I just wanted to be somebody important." Ryan's grandfather's expression was colder than Emma had ever seen it. "Security, escort Miss Morgan out of this building and ensure she's banned from all Sterling properties. And Emma dear, tomorrow morning I want you to bring all your evidence to my lawyers. We're going to make sure Jessica faces consequences for everything she's done. Nobody harms my family and gets away with it." Emma felt tears of gratitude and relief. "Thank you, sir. That means more than you know." As security led Jessica away, still protesting and crying, Emma leaned into Ryan's supportive embrace and let herself feel the weight of victory. She'd faced her enemy publicly and won. She'd exposed Jessica's crimes to everyone who mattered. She'd taken the first major step toward reclaiming everything that had been stolen from her. "You were magnificent," Ryan whispered against her hair. "Absolutely magnificent. I've never been more proud to stand beside someone. Emma, you're incredible. Emma looked up at him with tears in her eyes. We did it together. I couldn't have faced her without knowing you had my back. Ryan, I think I'm falling for you, and it terrifies me, but I can't seem to stop. Ryan cupped her face in his hands, his eyes intense with emotion. Then don't stop. Fall for me, Emma. I'm already falling for you. Let's jump together and see where we land. I promise I'll catch you if you stumble. They kissed right there in the middle of the gala with hundreds of people watching and cameras flashing. And Emma didn't care because this was real. This was right. This was the beginning of something beautiful that had started in darkness but was blooming into light. And she was ready to embrace it with both hands and all her heart. The weeks following the gala were a whirlwind of activity as Emma's evidence against Jessica led to a criminal investigation, fraud charges, and the complete collapse of Jessica's carefully constructed life, and Emma watched it all unfold with grim satisfaction, knowing that justice was finally being served for her mother's murder and her own suffering. The Morgan Group, which had actually been founded by Emma's mother before Jessica and her father had stolen it, was now in legal limbo with shareholders demanding answers and the board of directors scrambling to distance themselves from Jessica's crimes. And Emma saw her opportunity to strike and reclaim what had always rightfully belonged to her family. I want to buy out the Morgan Group, Emma told Ryan one evening after the children were asleep. I have the designs and the reputation now. With Sterling Corporation's backing, I could turn that company into something legitimate. Something that honors my mother's memory instead of the cesspool of corruption Jessica made it. Ryan didn't hesitate. You have my full support. I'll have my financial team put together an acquisition package. Emma, you should take back your mother's legacy. You've earned it. Within a month, Emma had secured majority ownership of the newly renamed Hart Design Corporation, firing everyone who'd been complicit in Jessica's schemes and hiring fresh talent who actually cared about creating beautiful ethical fashion, and the transformation was swift and stunning, with Emma's designs leading the company to heights it had never reached under Jessica's fraudulent leadership. Her 5 children were thriving in their new school, making friends and excelling academically, and Emma loved hearing their stories each night about their adventures and accomplishments. "Mommy, I won the science fair," Noah announced proudly one evening, showing her his blue ribbon. "My project on genetic inheritance patterns beat everyone else, including the 8th graders." Emma hugged him close. "I'm so proud of you, baby. You're absolutely brilliant. Your project was amazing." Lily chimed in with her own news. "And Mommy, my art teacher wants to enter my painting in a citywide competition. She says I have real talent, and she's never seen a 6-year-old paint like I do." Emma felt her heart swelling with pride. "All of you are so talented and special. I'm the luckiest mother in the world." But remember that talent is only part of success. Kindness and hard work matter just as much. Asher, Oliver, and Lucas all shared their own achievements, and Emma marveled at how confident and happy her children had become in just a few months of stability and security. They weren't looking over their shoulders anymore, weren't afraid of being uprooted, weren't worried about where their next meal would come from, and the transformation was beautiful to witness. Ryan had moved them all into his penthouse officially, giving each child their own beautifully decorated room and giving Emma a master suite that made her feel like royalty. And slowly they were building the rhythms and routines of family life together. "Daddy, can you help me with my math homework?" Oliver asked Ryan one evening, and Emma's heart squeezed at how naturally her children had accepted Ryan as their father, how much they loved him and trusted him despite only knowing him for a few months. Ryan looked up from his laptop with a warm smile. "Of course, buddy, bring it here and let's take a look together. What are you working on?" Emma watched them bent over the math problems, Ryan's patient explanations, and Oliver's focused attention. And she felt overwhelming gratitude that her children finally had a father who genuinely cared about them and wanted to be present in their lives. That night, after all the children were in bed, Emma and Ryan finally had time alone together, and Emma brought up something that had been on her mind. "Ryan, I think we should make our relationship official, not just for appearances, but because I'm ready. I'm ready to commit fully to building a life with you." Ryan set down his drink and gave Emma his complete attention. "What exactly are you saying, Emma?" Emma took a deep breath. "I'm saying I love you." I've fallen completely in love with you over these past months, watching you with our children, seeing how you support my career, feeling how you make me laugh and feel safe and challenge me to be better. I love you, Ryan Sterling, and I want to marry you for real this time, not because of business or obligation, but because I choose you. Ryan's face transformed with joy, and he pulled Emma into his arms. I love you too. I've loved you since that first day when you defended your children so fiercely outside my building. I've loved watching you reclaim your power and build your empire. I've loved every moment of getting to know the real you. Emma Hart, will you marry me and make us a real family in every sense? Emma laughed through happy tears. Yes, absolutely yes. I can't imagine my life without you anymore. You and our children are everything I've ever wanted. Let's do this properly and build something lasting and beautiful together. Ryan kissed her deeply, pouring all his love and commitment into the connection, and when they finally broke apart, he produced a ring box from his pocket with a sheepish grin. I've been carrying this around for weeks, waiting for the right moment. I was going to do some elaborate proposal, but this feels more real. More us, just the two of us being honest about what we want. The ring was stunning, elegant and unique, just like Emma, and she cried as Ryan slid it onto her finger. It's perfect. You're perfect. I can't believe this is my life now, after everything I went through to get here. They told the children the next morning, and the response was predictably chaotic and joyful. 5 kids jumping and screaming with excitement, all talking over each other about wedding plans and what they'd wear and whether they could be in the ceremony. Of course you'll all be in the ceremony, Ryan assured them. We're a family, and this wedding is about all of us becoming official. You're just as important as your mother and I are. Lily's face turned serious. Does this mean we get to call you Daddy officially, like on paper and everything? Ryan knelt down to her level. You can call me whatever you're comfortable with, sweetie. But yes, I'm legally adopting all of you, so you'll be Sterling children officially. You'll have my name and all the rights and protections that come with it. The children threw themselves at Ryan in a group hug that nearly knocked him over. And Emma watched with tears streaming down her face because her babies finally had everything they deserved, stability and love, and a father who genuinely wanted them. The wedding planning was surprisingly fun, with Emma designing her own dress and the children's outfits, creating something unique and beautiful that reflected their family's personality and style. And when the big day arrived, Emma felt nothing but joy and certainty, standing at the altar, watching Ryan's face as she walked down the aisle with all 5 children as her attendants. I promise to love you and protect you and support you for the rest of my life, Ryan said during his vows, his voice thick with emotion. I promise to be the father our children deserve and the partner you can always count on. Emma, you've made me whole in ways I didn't know I was broken. Thank you for giving me a family. Emma's own vows were equally emotional. I promise to trust you even when trust is hard, to love you even when love is scary, to build this life with you through good times and challenges. Ryan, you saw me when I felt invisible. You believed in me when I struggled to believe in myself. You loved my children before you even knew they were yours. You're everything I never knew I needed, and I'm grateful every day that fate brought us together. They kissed as husband and wife while their children cheered and the assembled guests applauded, and Emma felt complete in a way she'd never experienced before, like all the broken pieces of her life had finally come together into something beautiful and whole. The reception was a celebration of family and new beginnings, with Ryan's grandfather giving a touching speech about how Emma had brought light back into Ryan's life and given him the joy of great-grandchildren, and Emma's own mother, who'd been in hiding for years, helping Emma gather evidence against Jessica, finally able to attend publicly now that Jessica was in prison awaiting trial. I'm so proud of you, baby, Emma's mother whispered during their dance. You survived everything they threw at you, and you came out stronger. You reclaimed your legacy and found love and gave your children the life they deserve. Your father would be so proud if he could see you now. Emma held her mother close. I couldn't have done any of it without you, Mom. You protected me when I was at my lowest. You helped me gather evidence. You believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. This victory belongs to both of us. As the evening wore on and the celebration continued, Emma found herself on the balcony looking out at the city lights, and Ryan joined her there, wrapping his arms around her from behind. Happy Mrs. Sterling. Emma leaned back against his chest with a contented sigh. Incredibly happy. I keep waiting for something to go wrong because this all feels too perfect to be real. But then I remember that we earned this. Happiness, we fought for it, and we deserve it. Ryan kissed the top of her head. We absolutely deserve it. And Emma, I have one more surprise for you. I've been waiting for the right moment to tell you. Emma turned in his arms to face him. What kind of surprise? Ryan's smile was mysterious and excited. I found your sixth child, the one you told me about who had genetic issues and needed treatment, the one you thought had been lost. Emma, she's alive, and she's been in a medical facility getting the care she needed. I've been working with doctors to stabilize her condition, and she's ready to come home to us. Emma felt her knees go weak. What? How is that possible? I searched for years and couldn't find any trace of her. I thought she was dead. Ryan steadied her with gentle hands. Jessica had her hidden under a false name in a facility upstate, probably planning to use her as leverage against you someday. But once Jessica was arrested, I was able to trace the payments and find her. Emma, she's beautiful, and she looks just like you, and she's been asking about her mother. Emma couldn't breathe, couldn't think, could only feel overwhelming emotion at the thought of her lost child coming home. Can I see her? Can I see her now? I need to see her right now. Ryan was already leading her to a private room off the reception hall, and there, sitting quietly with a nurse, was a little girl who looked exactly like Emma. Same dark hair and bright eyes, same delicate features, and when she saw Emma, her face lit up with recognition and joy. "Mommy," the little girl whispered, and Emma ran to her and scooped her up and held her close, sobbing with relief and happiness and the overwhelming rightness of having all her children together finally. "I'm Sophie," the little girl said, her small arms wrapping around Emma's neck. "I've been waiting so long to meet you. The doctors said you were coming for me, but I was afraid they were lying. Are you real, Mommy? Are you really here?" Emma couldn't speak through her tears, so she just nodded and held her daughter closer, breathing in her scent and feeling her small heartbeat and marveling that after all these years, her family was complete. Ryan watched them with tears in his own eyes. The doctors say her condition is manageable with medication and regular checkups. She'll be able to live a completely normal life with her family. Emma, you have all 6 of your children now, all of them safe and healthy and home where they belong. That night, Emma introduced Sophie to her 5 siblings and watched with joy as they immediately accepted her and drew her into their chaotic, loving group, explaining family jokes and showing her around and promising to protect her always. And Sophie's face glowed with happiness at finally belonging somewhere, at finally having the family she'd dreamed about during her lonely years in the medical facility. "Is this really my life now?" Sophie asked Emma at bedtime, her voice uncertain. "Do I really get to stay here with you and Daddy and my brothers and sisters forever?" Emma kissed her forehead tenderly. "Yes, baby, this is your life now. You're a Sterling and nothing will ever separate us again. I promise you that with everything I am, you're safe and loved and home forever." The months that followed were a period of adjustment and healing as Sophie integrated into the family and Emma and Ryan navigated the challenges of raising 6 children while running their respective business empires. But through it all, they remained committed to each other and to their family, building something strong and lasting and beautiful. Jessica's trial was swift and decisive, the evidence Emma had gathered proving overwhelming, and she was sentenced to 20 years in prison for fraud, theft, and conspiracy to commit murder in Emma's mother's death, and Emma felt closure, watching her half-sister finally face consequences for all her crimes. The Heart Design Corporation thrived under Emma's leadership, becoming known not just for beautiful designs, but for ethical practices and supporting young designers from disadvantaged backgrounds. And Emma made sure that part of the company's profits went to scholarship funds and community programs, because she remembered what it was like to struggle, and she wanted to help others who were facing similar challenges. Ryan Sterling Corporation partnered with Emma's company on multiple projects, and together they became a powerhouse couple in the business world, respected for their talent and their integrity and their commitment to making a positive impact. "We've come so far from that first day when Asher called you Daddy outside your building," Emma said one evening as they watched their 6 children playing together in the penthouse living room, their laughter and joy filling the space with warmth and life. Ryan pulled Emma close. That was the best day of my life, even though I didn't know it at the time. Your son recognized something I was too blind to see, that you and your children were exactly what I needed, that we were meant to be a family." Emma rested her head on his shoulder. "I was so scared that day, scared of being recognized, scared of my plan failing, scared of everything. But Asha forced my hand, and it turned out to be the best thing that could have happened. Fate works in mysterious ways." They stood together watching their children, Noah helping Sophie with a puzzle, Lily teaching the boys a new song, Asha and Oliver building something elaborate with blocks, Lucas reading a book in the corner, all of them healthy and happy and secure, and Emma felt peace settling over her like a warm blanket. "Do you ever miss your old life?" Ryan asked quietly. "The excitement of the revenge plot, the challenge of surviving on your own, the simplicity of when it was just you and the kids against the world?" Emma thought about it seriously before answering. "I miss some aspects of it. The closeness we had when it was just us. The pride I felt providing for them with my own hands. But Ryan, this life we have now is better in every way that matters. My children have opportunities I could never have given them alone. I have a partner who loves and supports me. I reclaimed my mother's legacy and built something even greater. I wouldn't trade this for anything." Ryan kissed the top of her head. "Good, because I'm not letting you go. You're stuck with me forever. Mrs. Sterling, through whatever comes next, we face it together as a family." Emma smiled because she loved the sound of that. Together as a family, I like that. It's everything I fought for, everything I survived for, everything I dreamed about during the dark years when I thought I'd never make it back here. That night, after all 6 children were tucked into bed with stories and kisses and promises of pancakes for breakfast, Emma and Ryan stood in their bedroom, looking at the family photo that hung on the wall. All 8 of them smiling together, looking happy and complete and perfectly imperfect. "Thank you," Emma whispered, though she wasn't sure if she was thanking Ryan or fate, or the universe, or her mother's spirit, or all of the above. "Thank you for this beautiful life. Thank you for second chances. Thank you for love that conquered everything that tried to destroy it." Ryan wrapped his arms around her from behind, both of them looking at their family portrait. "No, Emma, thank you. Thank you for being brave enough to come back. Thank you for giving me children I didn't know I had. Thank you for loving me despite all the complications. Thank you for being exactly who you are, fierce and talented and beautiful and strong. You're everything I never knew I needed, and I'm grateful for you every single day." They stood together in comfortable silence, 2 people who'd been brought together by tragedy and drugging and schemes, but had chosen to build something beautiful from that broken beginning. 2 people who'd fought their way through darkness to find light. 2 people who'd learned that sometimes the best revenge is living well and loving fully and refusing to let the people who tried to destroy you win. Emma thought about everything that had happened, from that terrible night 6 years ago when she'd been drugged and violated, to the months of pregnancy alone and terrified, to the birth of 6 beautiful children, to the years of struggling and surviving and planning, to her triumphant return to the city that had rejected her, to reclaiming everything that had been stolen, to finding love with the father of her children, to building a family that was messy and complicated and absolutely perfect in all its imperfection. And she knew with absolute certainty that she would do it all again, every moment of pain and struggle and fear, because it had led her here, to this moment, to this family, to this life that was more beautiful than anything she dared to dream during those dark, lonely years when survival was her only goal. "I love you," Emma said simply, because sometimes the most important things were also the simplest. "I love you and our children and this crazy, beautiful life we've built. I love it all." Ryan turned her in his arms and kissed her deeply. "I love you too, more than I have words to express. You and our 6 incredible children are my whole world." Emma Hart Sterling, "You're the love of my life, and I'm going to spend every day proving that to you." They kissed again, pouring years of pain and triumph and hope and love into the connection, and when they finally broke apart, both were smiling through tears because this was happiness, real and hard-won and absolutely worth every moment of struggle it had taken to achieve. The next morning, Emma woke up to the sounds of her children laughing in the kitchen, Ryan's voice joining theirs as he helped them make breakfast, and she lay in bed for a moment just listening, just feeling grateful. just being present in this perfect, imperfect moment that represented everything she'd fought for. "Mommy, Daddy's making pancakes, but he's not very good at it," Lily's voice called from the kitchen, followed by Ryan's mock-offended response and the children's giggles. Emma smiled and got out of bed, wrapping herself in her robe and heading toward the chaos and love and family waiting for her in the kitchen. Toward the life she'd built from nothing. Toward the people who made every struggle worthwhile. Toward her future that stretched out before her, bright and full of possibility. As she entered the kitchen and 6 children's voices called out, "Mommy," in joyful chorus while Ryan smiled at her over a plate of slightly burned pancakes, Emma felt complete peace settling into her bones because this was home, this was family, this was love, this was everything she'd survived for and fought for and refused to give up on even when giving up would have been so much easier. Emma Hart Sterling had come home, not to a place but to people, not to the past but to the future, not to revenge but to love, and she knew with absolute certainty that no matter what challenges lay ahead, she and Ryan and their 6 beautiful children would face them together, as a family, united and strong and absolutely unstoppable, because they'd already survived the worst and come out stronger, and nothing that came next could ever break what they'd built together from the broken pieces of their past. The end. Thanks for watching. Guys, this is my new channel. Please help me reach 1,000 subscribers. This is your storyteller, Uncle Joel. Happy New Year.